Hello everyone, JRDL96 here with a brand new reaction. As you can tell by the title, it's Jacksepticeye related and it's a game theory video. Now, I'm really intrigued by this because we've seen the theories, that MatPat did about Mark's projects, like, the Unus Annus and, Mark's, character universe. Now, I'm very intrigued on how he's gonna, tackle Jacksepticeye's Egoverse. So, obviously, this is heavily more inspired because of the recent video with the Iris project with Chase. So I'm curious on what is going to happen here and what theory he has in mind. So I'm very intrigued. So let's get right into it. So without further ado, let's react to this video, shall we?
A portion of this video was sponsored by Walgreens.
Oh, great. What a great sponsor with this video in question. Hello, Chase.
Exposure has far exceeded dangerous levels. If they keep this up, there's gonna be nothing holding him back. Oh no, it's too late. Run! Run! Goodbye, Internet.
Oh. That's a cool intro.
Sorry about Antipad over there. He just escaped from
Antipad.
It's kind of a minor glitch in the system. Pretty darn harmless.
Glitch in the
honestly.
Matrix.
The scariest thing about him is just how cringy he is. Anyway, let's try that again, shall we? Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory, the show that just wants to ask.
I'm intrigued that it's a film theory, not a game theory.
That has impacted you significantly. Now, if you're a fan of our
game
theory, or spent any time in the gaming zone of YouTube,
that goddamn
you're
question.
probably familiar with Sean McLaughlin, aka
Jacksepticeye.
Across his 10 years on YouTube, he's proven himself time and time again as a gamer, as an entrepreneur, as a philanthropist, but recently he's also been proven himself as a storyteller. Don't get me wrong, Sean has never been shy about hopping into character for one of his videos.
There, Dr. Schneeferstein. The good doctor services are needed yet again.
Where's my wand? You
can't be a magician.
Marvin. Where's my hat?
JJ, Jameson Jackson.
But now it appears as though Sean has something greater planned for those characters. A wider connected universe that brings them all together to tell a story of love, loss, and chaos. And it all begins with one. I've been here
this entire time! It's Antisepticeye!
The powerful and terrifying Antisepticeye.
It's Anti.
Recently, Sean released what has got to be one of his most ambitious projects.
Yeah, this is probably the most.
Iris Project, an interactive live stream where the chat used text commands to cooperatively play a legitimate video game, solving puzzles and ultimately
I wasn't there for that.
all sorts of new channel lore. The video itself follows one specific Sean character, Chase Brody. Now, to get you up in case you don't watch every single one of Jacksepticeye's Let's Plays, Chase is your typical bro. So much so that his spin-off YouTube series is called
Bro Average.
Yo,
what's up, guys? I'm Chase, and welcome to Bro Average.
But while on screen, Chase is living large with teabagging trick shots, off screen he
is a very depressing guy.
This one's called I'm staying at my sister's.
This weekend.
Well, I don't care what your sister says. Just please, at least.
Well, they changed a little bit of the lore involved his kids. Instead of 2, it's 1.
Of a 2018 video titled "What Do You Want From Me?" in which Chase hears his family screaming. He goes to explore his house,
Dark Silence.
only to be confronted by another of Sean's characters, the
Who's
unpredictable and violent Antisepticeye.
What do you want from me?
It appears that whatever
that was
happened
cool.
here
I like
ended in
that.
tragedy, because a year later we get the video simply titled Chase. In it, we watch as Chase approaches a makeshift grave and then places a photo of his family on it. They're dead, but who's responsible? Antisepticeye, Chase himself, or something else? He begins to drink his troubles away until he suddenly teleports to the top
You have to
of a
blur out the
garage.
Adidas
And it's
logo.
here, in an upload coming 3 years later, that the Iris Project begins in earnest, continuing the story of Chase, Antisepticeye, and presumably the rest of Sean's personas. Right now, that narrative is still in its early stages, but it's clear that Sean has big plans for it.
Yeah, he said there is still more
videos
videos to come, apparently.
Either next summer or Halloween, based on how he's been treating these sorts of uploads in the past. But here's the thing, you don't need to wait that long, my friends. I think that we've cracked open what the wider story is.
I wonder.
In their pursuit of discovery and technological growth, the Iris Corporation has gotten too ambitious. It's attempted to tap into forces that are far beyond our control. And by doing this, they've unleashed a force that threatens not just Iris, not just Chase and the other personas, but all of
the
humanity.
universe.
So grab your clipboards and start scribbling away, loyal theorists. It's time to dive in. Because the main part of this was a live event that's now unlisted, let me just start with a quick recap of what actually happened in the Iris project so we're all on the same page. The videos from the live stream that the chat unlocked are framed as archival footage of a series of interviews between Chase Brody and an unnamed Iris scientist. I'm just gonna call this random scientist a name that comes to the top of my head. Let's just say Aaron. No real reason for that. Anyway, at first, the interview is more of an interrogation. Aaron seems distant and cold. Shots frame so we don't even see his face. He refers to Chase as a subject rather than a person.
Subject has no recollection of spatial transition.
Wait, excuse me,
subject?
Aaron's questions also seem borderline nonsensical at first. Does Chase recall how he was teleported? Has he seen or heard things that weren't actually there? Seen objects appearing or disappearing? Lost track of time? That sort of thing. However, as the days of the interrogation go on and Aaron attempts to warm up to Chase, we begin to see his face, and his questions start getting more personal.
Have you ever experienced a terrible occurrence that has impacted you significantly?
Stop.
Have you ever experienced a terrible occurrence that has impacted you significantly? Ever experienced a terrible occurrence that has impacted you significantly?
Stop.
Also, it becomes clear that Chase isn't alone in the facility. There's something else here too.
Echo
something that wants to talk. Something named Echo.
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
Who are you? Echo? Are you there?
Multiple times throughout the week, other unseen entities enter Chase's cell. These beings are what Iris classifies as alters, and they speak to Chase using what the camera picks up as some sort of strange whisper or whale noise. We can tell that at least one of them is tormenting Chase.
No, not this again. Please go away.
And the other is telling Chase that he's special.
Can you get me out of here? I don't understand. What do you mean I'm special?
Eventually, after the chat unlocked all but one of the clips in the Iris Project livestream, the facility changed. The power started flickering on and off. Chairs were strewn about. Red warning lights blared throughout the building. The facility is in lockdown. Security guards enter Chase's room and escort him out as Chase warns them of the impending danger that they all face.
Yes.
We have to leave.
He gets flashbacks to that Dark Science video.
Iris ignores Chase's warning, only to discover Antisepticeye, here to once again wreak havoc on Chase's life.
Hello, Chase.
So, now that you're all caught up, the way I see it, there are three main mysteries presented to us here. What's Iris up to? How do Chase and Anti play into all of it? And finally, who or what is Echo? Well, I believe we have answers to all three of those questions.
Some people say
today,
that Echo might be Jack.
Decoding what it all means, let's take a moment to talk about our sponsor for this portion of the video, Walgreens. That's right, the drugstore that's literally everywhere noticed little old us online and sponsored this episode. We are legit, guys.
Really?
This holiday season, if you're looking to keep
really,
yourself safe,
Walgreens of all places decided to sponsor you, and this is the video you choose to show the sponsorship.
Make sure that you're up to date with your vaccinations. And thanks to Walgreens, it is easier than ever to
There's
do
CVS
that.
as
Most
well.
people think that you have to make a doctor's appointment, wait in line, the whole thing just to get some vaccines. But you can actually have one of Walgreens' specially trained pharmacy experts do it for you. Super fast, no special trips to the doctor. You can book online, or, you can just go in literally the same day. You can even save yourself a trip and schedule your COVID-19 and flu vaccines for the same time. Steph and I both take vaccinations seriously. We have a child who needs us to stay healthy. We do a lot of travel to see you guys and speak at events.
Of course.
We do our best to spend time with family at the holidays. And all of those things mean that we need to stay as responsible as we can in order to keep ourselves safe. Case in point, just a few weeks ago, our entire team came out to North Carolina to work together in the same room for the first time since COVID. There was a lot of hugging, a lot of jumping up and down, and then a lot more hugging. Honestly, for a bunch of introverts, Team Theorist is shockingly close. But you know what made all of those close hugs possible? Scientifically tested vaccines. And Walgreens makes it easy to access those vaccines quickly, reliably, and professionally. So go, get your vaccinations now, my friends. That way, by the time you hit the relative's house, gift swaps, or uncomfortable corporate mandated holiday parties, you're confident in your health and your safety. Schedule an appointment online today at walgreens.com/schedulevaccine. Again, that's walgreens.com/schedulevaccine.
I wonder,
or,
what
just
he
click
has
the
in
link
mind,
description
but I
if you
feel
don't
like
wanna type
Echo
all
might
of
be
that stuff out.
Sean
Be smart and safe
in a
this holiday
coma.
season, loyal theorists. Once again, thank you to Walgreens
And I
for
wonder,
sponsoring
how
that
the other
portion of the
characters
video. Let's
tie
just
into
jump back
this.
into the mystery of Iris to decode what all of it means. Starting with the last question first, who is Echo? Out of all the entities that interact with Chase, this character seems to be the most benevolent. It wants to help.
Wait, where are you? How can I
Can I hear you?
How? Can you get me out of here? No, don't say
say
that.
that.
If both of us
Work together,
we can get out of here.
When Echo first appears, the Iris camera encounters some interference, and you can even see the silhouette of some sort of figure in there. Easy money would say that that is Echo. But something else you might not notice here is that all throughout the rest of the interaction, the camera feed is glitchy, with Chase jumping around a fair bit. Now, this could certainly be a way to hide cuts to different takes, but it could also be a hint as to the identity of Echo. In the live stream, one of the rooms that we see appears to be some sort of Iris employee break room, and one of the posters on the wall reads, quote, "Did you know? Alter 5914 is a time thief. Don't be like Alter 5914. So, since we're seeing some jumps in Chase's conversation here with Echo, maybe Echo is Alter 5914, an entity who's somehow able to manipulate time. And the glitches we're seeing aren't actually glitches, but rather time that's literally being stolen by Echo. Additionally, if we look at the Iris Twitter feed, we can see that some form of time manipulation does exist inside this universe. According to this post about the retro wave, a microwave that rewinds old meals back in time to when they were fresh, Iris started experimenting with time manipulation technology in the 40s. So we know that it is possible within this universe.
JJ?
That alone would be an interesting factoid, but that's not all we hear about time travel in the series. One other post from the Iris Twitter got my theorist senses working. Quote again, "If you were able to travel back in time and talk to yourself, what would you tell them? What if Echo is Chase from the future, somehow traveling back in time to communicate and tell Chase that he's special, that he has a big role to play in this story, and that it can help because, again, it's him from the future. It would be, quite literally, an echo of events yet to come." Now, admittedly, that sounds like a big shot in the dark, but it would help a lot of things in the series make more sense. For example, despite Iris assuring Chase that he's never been in the facility before, he insists that he somehow remembers it.
This building
is familiar.
It's like I've been here before.
Mr. Brody, I assure you that you've
Yeah,
never
that's
been in this
interesting.
facility before.
No, it's not like that. There's an energy here that I've felt before.
Sean also explained in his post-stream breakdown that deja vu is a scientific thing within this universe. It means something.
So in this world, in this universe, deja vu has an explanation. There's like a scientific logic to why that happens, but I'll never tell.
What if the deja vu is Chase picking up bits of his own memories? Memories that he hasn't made yet because they're Echo's memories. That would explain why Iris seems so interested in his feelings on the subject.
But it's probably just deja vu or something.
Have you experienced other instances of this?
Like what? What do you mean?
Like feelings like deja vu, like something's happened before.
And time travel might not be the only dimensional technology that Iris is messing with here. I believe that a multiverse of some sort also exists in this world. In another Twitter post, Iris asks, quote, "People only say reach for the stars because they think it's impossible to do so. What if we reached even further?" The only thing I can think of that's further than the stars in outer space are places outside of our universe, in other universes. It might seem outlandish, but teleporting is established as a fairly regular occurrence amongst these characters. We've already talked about how Chase
Chase got teleported to a parking garage.
He's far from the only person to experience this. First of all, Dr. Schneepelstein,
Dr.
Sean's wacky
Schneepelstein.
doctor character, witnesses an interdimensional portal through one of his computer monitors at the end of a 2019 video. That same
was
portal
after
is seen
Chase.
alongside the magician character
Marvin the Magnificent
in a vision from a 2020 upload. It's worth noting that both Antisepticeye and Chase are also seen in that vision, showing that all of these characters are indeed connected in some way. In fact, Antisepticeye himself has already directly interacted with both Dr. Schneepelstein as well as another character
Jameson
in the roster,
Jackson.
the silent film performer Jameson Jackson. What if all of these characters are literally the same character, just from different universes, different timelines? And what's more, Iris clearly has an interest in these alter egos, with several of them likely already in containment within the facility. During the original livestream, we were able to see Jameson's bow tie, Marvin's mask, and several Jackie Boy Man comics hidden throughout the facility. Were these just Easter eggs to Sean's other characters, or could these characters actually be kept in the facility? My hunch is that they're here for a reason. And if Iris has an interest in all of these other egos, then of course they'd want to capture Antisepticeye too. Gotta be a completionist.
But that's the problem.
He
can't.
That Chase
is Alter 114209.
We've been tracking him for quite some time.
But why? Why would Iris be so interested in
In
collecting all these random characters from across time and space? According to Aaron, Iris is a benevolent organization that's just trying to protect people.
So, see Chase. Iris helped those people in that village. We saved them. We find items like those, and we protect people from them. We're not here to harm you, we just want to help.
But this frankly does not align with everything else that we see with Iris in the series. First of all, their treatment of Chase is borderline torture, to the point that they even make it difficult for him to sleep.
Can you at least turn the lights off? Thank you.
And despite already knowing the answers to the questions that they're asking a Chase, they decide to push him to the edge in a way that triggers horrible repressed memories.
Have you ever experienced a terrible...
Yeah, they were torturing him, essentially.
Notice the flashing images that appear here? Graves, bodies, a wedding ring. It's Chase's family, the ones that died, most likely at the hands of Antisepticeye. And the more they question Chase, the more they poke and prod at his tragic past, the closer Antisepticeye comes. Iris knows this and chooses to proceed.
Oh, they're trying to trigger Anti to come.
Concerning levels. Just moving to second phase pending board permission.
They want Antisepticeye to show up. They want
it's like, oh, they want to die. That's probably why.
Being. It can't be for the good of the universe, can it? To contain him? No, loyal theorists. They're doing it to harness the power that Antisepticeye holds. Despite this series taking place basically in the present day,
Date is October 18th, 2019.
Iris has access to technology that's far beyond what we have in our universe. On their social media page, they talk about true high-definition TV in the 1970s, implants that make you smarter, microwaves that can reverse time on specific objects, and quantum displacers that can change the mass of objects. However, the piece of tech that we get the most elaborate explanation for is their Watcher security system. These security cameras have incredibly high 12K resolution. They can detect both the physical health and emotional state of the people they record. And most importantly to our purposes today, they're wireless and batteryless thanks to an antimatter power source. Yeah, Iris apparently has antimatter technology in the year 2019.
And apparently, I guess, Anti is made out of antimatter.
That I mentioned earlier. In it, we get a close-up of a spell book. And what's that written inside? Iris equals antimatter. This is from a video that was uploaded back in 2020. So Sean's been laying the groundwork for years now. To my knowledge, this is also the first time that Iris was officially used in the context of this ongoing character narrative, though if I'm wrong on that, feel free to call me out in the comments. But now we fast forward ahead to the more recent Iris project upload. In particular, one shot of the Iris facility from the original live stream. In it, we see what appears to be a pair of giant sci-fi power generators. I wouldn't be surprised if these puppies were running on antimatter. And suddenly, with all of this information, everything starts to make sense. During the live stream, we saw a room that seemed to be designed to contain a powerful humanoid, someone like Antisepticeye. And while it's certainly a bit on the nose, the fact that the people clearly trying to summon Antisepticeye have themselves super futuristic technology that's powered by antimatter? Yeah, coincidence? I think not. Iris is trying to capture Anti and then use him as a power source. And so, they're triggering Chase, poking a sleeping dragon to get Antisepticeye's attention. And, well, that
didn't work out, did it?
It's interesting. This entire project plays with the idea of how toxic social media can be. How people who have no real stake in something want to get involved with the personal lives of people that they don't even know. Sean explained as much during his live stream.
Everyone online always has to have an opinion about everything all the time.
In this way, the viewer is playing the game on the Iris live stream, and the Iris Corporation within the story are representative of people attempting to insert themselves into businesses that aren't really theirs. They're pressing people's buttons. They're poking and prodding all in hopes of getting a reaction, and things don't end up going well for them. Again, as Sean says,
consequences can happen to things that you didn't intend, but it's too late to kind of take any of it back.
In universe, Iris seems to be doing this for selfish reasons, to capture Antisepticeye, to use him as a power source for their futuristic technology, and we as an audience are also doing it selfishly, to get to the next part of the story, to learn more about the people we follow online, to the point where we probably shouldn't. Regardless of whether I'm right or wrong about this story Sean's trying to tell here and the lore of the world that he's building, I just want to take a step back and congratulate him on creating a universe that's so ambitious, and one that's so far outside of his normal content, including going so far as to make one of the coolest interactive live events I've ever seen happen on YouTube. For real, a clap and a half to Sean and all the developers at Hyper RPG for putting that one together. You know that I'm a big fan of content creators trying new things on their channels and pushing the limits of their creativity, so you can bet I'm excited to see where this one is going to be headed next. So as always, my friends, in the meantime, remember, it's a fact, a film fact, and glue. Did you really just say and glue? As in, you were just looking for the opposite of and cut? Yeah. No, see, this right here is why we can't have any good lore for the channels, alright?
Oh my gosh. Oh man. So that is a very interesting theory. So I'm assuming, based on what, you know... Oh my gosh. Alrighty. So that was an interesting theory on what's going on. So according to MatPat, he believes that, you know, Iris is trying to capture Antisepticeye and use him to power their antimatter. Because you know, I mentioned it because, you know, I saw, like, you know, when the Watcher cameras, it said, oh, it runs on antimatter. I'm like, that sounds bad. That sounds like Antisepticeye shit going on. And I remember, you know, even bringing up as well that, you know, one page on, you know, the Necronomicon book of Marvin's that had the word iris equals antimatter. So I'm like, yeah, it seems like he had this in mind for a while now, and finally he's had the time to really put this together. But according to Sean, apparently they filmed a lot more. They filmed a lot more, and obviously I guess they're going to space out the releases of this stuff, which is fine, but you want to know more. You really want to know more about the lore, because I didn't see the interactive chat, like, live stream stuff, but I find that interesting about the Alter 5914, I think that's what it is. I believe it's the other altar, but, you know, that steals time, like a time traveler. I was thinking maybe that could be Marvin, but since the Echo, you know, it might be Echo, and then the theory about Echo might be Chase from the future, trying to tell Chase in the past, saying, you're special, you're a big part of this whole story. And stuff. And find it interesting, like, you know, how Iris is trying to poke at the bear, trying to poke and push the buttons of Chase, trying to trigger his, you know, suppressed bad memories and dark time of his life with the death of his wife and child. And, you know, in order to lure out Antisepticeye to somewhat, quote-unquote, try to capture him. But that didn't go well, because those people were killed by Anti. And Chase is left to crawl away in fear. And that ended on a cliffhanger like that. But I'm, like, another thing, too, about the theory about maybe the other characters might be Chase from different alternate universes. I doubt that. I honestly doubt that, but who knows, honestly. But I've failed to mention it in the video, but the weird continuity thing that I was trying to mention was the hat. Because if you noticed in the Chase video, he was wearing the Adidas hat. He was wearing that Adidas hat, and not the Jinx hat that he was wearing in the Iris Project. So I find it weird, because since the Chase video was uploaded October 13th, 2019, and the events of the Iris Project starts October 18th, like, if Chase is teleported somewhere to a parking garage in the middle of a city, I don't know if he's going to somehow magically find a different hat to wear. Like, I just find that unlikely. You would think that his hat would still be around, too. Like, I think maybe at the time when they probably filmed the Chase video, he didn't have the Jinx hat with him when they filmed it. So, Jack had to buy a different, similar-looking hat, and he found that Adidas hat, and he found it kind of similar in vein to the hat that he wears as Chase prior. So that's probably the logical explanation of why he was wearing a different hat in the Chase video. But again, it's just like, that's like the only issue I had with the video, is because of the weird, you know, continuity error with the hat. Because if it happened in the past 5 days, did like Chase somehow find a way back home to get his hat again, or did he like somehow get his hat? Well, because again, his house was getting evicted, so there's no way he could have ran back home. I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know what is going on and what the deal is, and there's a lot of unanswered questions I would like to know. But the biggest question I have is, if there's more coming, who's next? Are we going to still continue with Chase, or are we going to start to focus on another character? Because, you know, MatPath theorized that most likely the other characters, like Dr. Schneepelstein, Marvin, JJ, and Jackaboy Man probably got captured. So who knows? We could see, you know, the other characters show up. Maybe it's time to focus on the other characters. Who knows? I honestly don't know, but there's a lot of unanswered questions that I would like to know. And that other interesting theory about how it's almost like a represents toxic fandom. I'm like, okay, interesting. And the fact that they like to try to stick their nose into somebody else's business when they shouldn't. Like, I find that fascinating. And, you know, yeah. Look at what... I think this also plays into the whole bullshit that Sean had to deal with last year, too. With those assholes that like to poke fun at his dad's death. And how much that could heavily affect him. How much that heavily affected him was just... That really hurt. That really would hurt. You know? So I think it might be another fuel. It's inspiration. It's kind of similar to how I fueled my, you know, how I got inspired to do some of the JR Dye skits that I did years ago with the you know, the mean comments that JR Dye would say to taunt me, to taunt fictional me. I took actual legit, you know, mean comments and mean, you know, words said about me and took it and put it on there and put it as a JR Dye thing. And one of the ones that really has stuck with me still to this day is someone that I still consider like an acquaintance to right now, but back then this person said this so and this hurt me a lot. And it was the comment of, "You're just about everything wrong with struggling creators." That one has stuck with me for ever since. Like, for the last 4 years, that has stuck with me, and it really hurt me. I felt really hurt by that. And obviously the person who said that apologized because they were under, you know, the influence of a very toxic person. So they came back, you know, apologizing. And, you know, we've been, you know, acquaintances and, you know, been friendly with each other. But, you know, still, I'll never forget that. Like, even though we're on good terms now, still, I'm never going to forget what you said. You know, like, it sucks, you know, like, it sucks when you have people that, you know, say these mean things about you and, you know it's not true. It really sucks. I've dealt with that, especially 2 years ago, but it really sucks. But anyways, that's really it on this reaction. Let me know what you think about the theory in the comments, what your theories are about what's going on, and who do you think is going to be next on the list of characters, and when do you think it might come out? You know, that kind of stuff. I think it might not come out for another year. I feel like this might be like one of those yearly things or stuff. Like, I think once in a while, like, I think he has to strategically upload specific things to give us to lore, you know, to theorize more about before, you know, the big release, you know. Gives a little, you know, small little pieces of, you know, interesting stuff. And then finally, you know, upload something big, you know. The only issue I also have with this video from MatPat is the fact that he kept saying Antisepticeye. And according to Sean, like, Sean's, I guess it's with his Irish accent and stuff, he calls him Anti, and I say Anti. And I know people say anti or anti. Mark even said anti when they broke down the David Markiplier, because Mark mentioned when he was doing Darkiplier, he didn't want to step on the toes of the Antisepticeye fandom because he's a big fandom for that. And especially when he broke down the Darkiplier versus the Antisepticeye video, he kept mentioning anti as well. But I think it's like one of those tomato things. Potato, you know, it's like one of those words that has two different kinds of sayings, but, you know, it is what it is. But it's just like, that kind of nagged me a little bit because I'm so used to saying and calling you know, his dark persona Antisepticeye and not Antisepticeye. I remember back then I kept saying anti, and it wasn't until I kept hearing Sean saying anti, I'm like, okay, that's probably how you say his character name, is Anti. So that's what I say, is Anti. So I'm trying to, like, you know, stick with the, you know, the thing here, you know? Stick with it and stick with the stuff here, so... Speaking of Sean, he did the Thankmas stream at the time of me filming this yesterday. He raised over $10 million. How fucking insane is that? And he had like other special guests, like Jack Black. He had a bunch of cool guests on. I'm happy for him. I'm really happy for him. But there is another, you know, there's another video we could check out, 10 years on YouTube, that he just posted. Well, years ago. A couple days ago. It's like 12 days ago. And then the recent video he posted 6 days ago. Funniest TikToks I could find. Again. Like, ugh. Like, how many, you know... Yeah, but again, it's just this... I wonder, like, you know, what's going to happen next with the characters, you know? Because, you know, I'm very intrigued by what is going to happen next with, like, the other characters. Like, you know, Dr. Schneepelstein, Marvin, and Jameson Jackson, and Jackaboy, man. The only character that we have yet to see, again, is Jackaboy, man. The last time we saw him was 2017, 5 years ago. We have not seen him since, and stuff like that. So it's been a while since we've seen that character, and he's been teased, and Sean even said that he's the one that he really wants to really do. So, I don't know. Who knows? So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you like what you saw here, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Be sure to ring that bell to be part of the notification squad. Be sure to check out my Instagram because I make cool edits of Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and myself. I used to act as a cosplays on there, so go check it out. Be sure to check out my Tumblr and my Discord in the description as well. So until next time, JRD186 signing out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.